All right, cool. So I guess the one where I want to start is, well, maybe let's work on this one together because I was almost done with it, and that'll get you guys a sense. And then if it doesn't end up working, I'll show you the one that does. So I'm using RChain API here, and I basically just put two little snippets of Rolang code. So I create a private name. I send on that private name. This data should never be readable. It should be readable from like listen at name or whatever, but you should never be able to like grab it off the channel unless you have this name. But no one has the name because I haven't sent the name anywhere, and the scope ends right here.
And even listen at name is at risk because if the thing ever gets smart enough to do garbage collection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then this is just in case this doesn't work. This is debugging so that I can see what the private name ID actually was.
Yep.
So then the second piece of code creates a new name that says looks innocent and also standard out. And again, prints the innocent looking name so we can see if they actually match or not, and then tries to read data off of the innocent looking name. And I'm thinking that the stolen data is this should never be readable. So then here's where I start actually interacting with the node. So I deploy the first one, the send private info, and I make a block. And then I deploy the second one, the steal private info, and I make a block. And and then there's just this one helper function that takes in the code and turns it into this thing that the gRPC actually expects, where it has the code, the timestamp, the flow limit, the flow price, etc. This is not super high-minded, but the key to the attack is just hard coding the timestamp so that the timestamp is the same for both deploys. So let's just see if that works. I haven't tried it yet, but I have a node running over here.
That's actually the node should prevent you from doing this. There's a check that no two deploys have the same timestamp and user. Yeah,
so that's what Kyle said on his slides at RCon 3 too, and it didn't seem to be the case in practice. As you know, I don't really dive into the Scala code that much, so I don't know where that.
Well, this is the way to test it. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so let's try it. So node, what did I call that?
Save unforgeable, yeah.
Save unforgeable. I meant to save that in a different file, but that's okay. Let's just see what happens. Sorry. Oh, syntax error. It looks like it was on the second one, and it was on line 4 of the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not sure if ++ works on strings. Do you know for a fact that it does? Although that wouldn't be a syntax error.
I thought that it did. Let's just try that again and see. Oops. So it worked in the first one. Okay, so it says line 4, character 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it got confused, and this is the problem. No new. Okay, so now this is really interesting. So it gave me error while creating block, no new deploys on the very first piece of code. So see, the deploy was success, but then when I tried to create the block, it gave me no new deploys.
Right.
And I think, Dan, that's basically what you were saying. Like because on the previous run, I did successfully deploy that first code.
Yeah.
And so when I tried to deploy identical code again, it told me you can't do that. But the check needs to be only that user ID and timestamp are the same as before. But I think currently the check is also including code. And so by modifying the code, then I'm able to complete this attack. So I'm going to start my node here, restart my node. So nothing will be deployed, so there's definitely no dupes. Probably a third of the time I've spent on this is waiting for nodes to come up.
We won't say anything about having Go code starting up faster or anything like that.
Yeah.
Although if it's mostly waiting over the wire, then it probably Go wouldn't be any faster.
I think we should write it in Rust.
Yep.
I would love Rust. All right, so it looks like all my code got deployed. So let's see what happened here. The stolen data is, this should never be readable. The private name is A22D, and the innocent looking name is A22D.
Yep. So tell me again what you think the check should be and you think it is.
So I think the check should be no two deploys can have the same validator public key and timestamp. And I think it is no two deploys can have the same validator ID, timestamp, and code term.
Oh, yep.
So the one I accidentally typed over this because I'm an idiot, but I'm just gonna pull up the one I DM'd to you last night, if that's okay, Dan.
Mm-hmm. I think you copied it to another file, but whatever.
And so like on this one, all I did was deployed nearly the same identical code here, but I changed it in a meaningless way. Like this does nothing, but I just sent a different number, and so that allowed the second deploy to also go through.
Right.
So probably that just means we need to report a bug on that check, right?
Yep. By the way, you might want to twist Jim's head with the for code.
With the, oh, sure. I sent that up here somewhere too. This one, right?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was the same thing, but whatever.
The one where it makes the same unforgeable name over and over?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, I just create some new channel. I'm just going to use it for one thing. And there, it's a little bigger. And then I repeatedly send nil on that channel, and I repeatedly receive anything on that channel. And so once, so that should be infinite com events, right? They're just going, 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 going. And whenever one of those happens, I create a new name and I print that new name. So let's just see here.
It's called the world's most expensive contract.
Yeah. And then I can just, I can even do this one in eval mode.
Oh, that'll be not nice.
Oh, there it is. So it's just creating the same unforgeable name a million times until I Control-C it. Oh, I thought it was different for a second, but it's not. I just had my Control-C on that line. So that's what I discovered last night.
I wonder if you read.
Isn't this a feature, not a bug? I mean,
yeah, this, as far as I can tell, it's correct.
The behavior of this little one.
Yeah.
Kyle, I asked Kyle about it, and I was like, well, in the blockchain, it probably doesn't really matter because that's definitely going to run out of flow, and then when it runs out of flow, everything's going to roll back. And he said, well, I think it should just be an error to match a persistent send and a persistent receive.
Well, but never mind the fact that it runs forever. Just put send nil twice on Chan instead of a million times. The fact that you get
then it won't give you the same unforgeable name anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, so it has to be a fixed point. Interesting.
So, well, I mean, let's actually try it. I don't know for sure if I tried that, but just from reading the paper he linked, I don't think that's going to work.
Because it's still symmetric.
Yeah. So I think the thing is, like, there are, so there's every send and receive. So like when you start a program, it gets a random generator state.
Oh, I see.
It splits that random generator state for every send and receive in here. So now we have two sends and a receive, so that generator state will be split into 3 pieces.
Okay.
So when we go to actually make a new name, it's going to combine the generator state from the receive and the send. But when I had it as a persistent send, both sends had the same generator state, but I think now they won't have the same generator state.
Right.
But it's worth checking, actually, just to make sure we understand that right.
Yeah, I mean, it is an error of sorts to have a persistent send and a persistent receive match. If the thing can statically detect that, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. So that didn't work because my node was down. Naturally, that will cause a problem.
But also in the case of the same timestamp, because the public key is the same, couldn't we allow someone to recover data that way?
Well, the only problem with that, Jim, is that I can recover your data that way.
But you don't have the same public key.
It's the validator public key. If I deploy to the same validator, then it is the same public key.
Well, the thing that gets checked is the use. Oh, is it really the validator's public key?
Yeah, I mean, I think this might still be changed as we implement more of the project. But at the moment, me as the deployer, I don't sign anything or provide any identity at all.
Oh, yeah.
I just send that proto buff in, and it, does what it does. So we did get different unforgeable names when it was different.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, what's the right way to, should we dig into the Scala where the problem is so we can give them a good bug report, or is that code snippet enough?
Well,
we've got compelling evidence of the bug here.
Yeah, then they can hunt it.
The real question is, who's responsible for that part of the code? Right, well,
Yeah.
The people on the other end of the JIRA ticket. There's a protocol here. We file the ticket, they figure it out.
I never remember how to.
Go to developer.rchain.coop and look for report a bug. I think it's bottom left, bottom right.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. It just defaulted to row lang. I guess that's right in this case.
Yeah, so they shouldn't expect us to think very much hard. Any defaults we should just,
Yeah.
I think you meant forged.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't bother to pick that.
Okay. Just let them handle it.
Yeah. Well, the normal way you do this is you say what I did, what I expected, and what actually happened.
I don't think it hurts to give them a little bit of, like, if we've done some of the debugging, we might as well save them some time.
Okay, but I don't know what you're basing that statement on.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you, or?
Well, I'm just saying that normally when you report bugs, you're ignorant of everything except what you actually experienced.
Gotcha. Cool.
and the protocol here is to say, this is what you were doing. This is
what I did. This is what I expected, and this is what I actually experienced.
Yeah. Gotcha. Do you guys also want to work on KYC bot today?
I'm easy either way.
sure. Let's do it. Renaming the project. I'm not sure how we want to do that.
Oh, it's easy. You just go to GitHub and right-click and rename or whatever. But yeah, It does the right thing. It redirects URLs and everything.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm glad you guys are here because I would be scared, very scared to do that.
Yeah, I think that was so cool when I discovered that. The other thing is it should go in the RChain community area. That's where I'd like it to be.
Well, let's put it there.
Okay, so shall I drive?
Sure.
So there's a question of whether. So where is it now?
Jim's driver.
Right. Okay, there's no issues. That simplifies life. If there were issues, then all right, I tell you what I'm going to do.
Wait a second. Before we do that, let me do a diff in the directory where we're working on it. Make sure I don't have to push it first. Well, you can rename it. Well,
push later. I'm not going to do anything that affects that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make a new repository in our chain community, and you want to call it rho-bot?
Sure.
We can fill in the rest of that later. Create repository. Copy. And then on here, sure I'm current. Does this make sense what I'm doing, Jim?
Yeah. I can never remember how to do that, but it makes sense looking at it.
There. Now, if you want, you can delete your repository and then fork this one. And then this thing will be upstream, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, so I delete the repository from.
Yeah, you would delete this thing.
And not worry about what's checked out.
Yeah, so you're not actually deleting any Git history or anything like that. You're just deleting a sort of a website. Yeah, what we want to do is tell GitHub, not Git. We want to tell GitHub the relationship between your project and the community project. Because to Git, they're all the same. But
Right.
Git doesn't know what a pull request is.
Okay, so then the new repository you want to add, you have to add myself and Joshi to that, or?
Ooh, wait a minute. Let's see. If we delete this, it's not going to redirect.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I would have to do I would have to change the remote.
well, the redirects are a GitHub thing, not a Git thing. Remotes are a Git thing. So you can.
I think Jim's saying he doesn't care whether it redirects through GitHub as long as he configures his local Git remote so it goes to the right place. Is that what you were thinking, Jim?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, that's it scares me to try to do that because I've gotten it wrong so many times.
Okay, so to confirm, it's okay with you if people try to follow links to this and get 404?
Right.
Yes? I didn't hear that.
I'm not sure of the question.
okay, right now, this is a web page, right? Jim's Carver KYC bot. Maybe you gave that web page out in, for example, other GitHub issues or discussions or Discord links or whatever, right? Is it okay if those links all go 404?
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the other thing is it really doesn't matter. You can just clone this thing independently, or sorry, fork this thing.
Right.
Community / and then you'll have KYC bot and rho-bot both, and life will go on. As long as nobody does if anybody does a pull request against your KYC bot, then you should probably tell them, hey, go make your pull request over there instead.
Yeah, big update on the README that says this project has moved.
Yeah. Anyway.
There we go.
Okay, so now I'm thinking about actually making changes to the code, at which point it is important to sync up.
I should have been working on that, huh?
Well, no. I'm just going to see if there's, and that's rho-bot.net, right? Okay.
And I think you really want to be RChain on this, but if you insist, you can try to be yourself. The one we share.
No, not my password. It's asking for my password.
Unless your password. Never mind.
Really? Oh, there's an H. Rho-bot.net. Okay. Oops. What the heck? Yeah, do you want to check those in, or should I, or does it matter?
I can check it in. Do I want to check it check everything in? Let me look at.
There's server.js and package.json and package.lock are the changes of the diffs.
Okay. So I do a git commit -a or
Yeah.
what is say no changes to commit. So why wouldn't it? Okay, I gotta. You need a -a or something. Yeah. Can you count? What should I comment? Changes.
So it looks like you tweaked the version of of RChain API.
That one lives in RChain community now too.
Yeah. Do we want to tweak that before we commit it?
No. It's pretty. I would say it's pretty important to preserve the state of the code that's running right now. You know.
Right. Okay. So.
And then I don't know how I would describe the rest of this.
What's the? We're just trying to commit this and push it up to the new repo.
Yeah.
So you want to commit all of it, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I think it might just be git commit -am and then your message.
Yeah, it's the message he's working on.
Oh, I see. Trying to decide what the message. Okay, I misunderstood.
I mean, it was just a lot of.
You could say MISC updates or whatever.
Yeah.
Change the flow limit. See that. Looks like the sed corp got changed.
Okay, I've committed it, and now I'm going to push it. And the only reason why I should push it is right now the RChain account thinks it's Jim Scarver at GitHub. We could change that, of course.
Go ahead and push it to where you're to the Jim Scarver thing.
Oh yeah, I gotta sign it. That's why oops.
Ooh. I actually have an 11 o'clock thing.
Pushed. Oh, 11 o'clock. It's 11:36. Oh, you're now.
No, it's 10:36 here.
It's pushed.
Okay, just a sec. Okay, so now back on my planet, I'm going to do get full. Just get what you got, and then push to the RChain community. And there's that. MISC updates, right?
Nice.
Okay.
Do you have to add people to that repository? Like me?
Might as well. Oh, you're already a contributor. Well, that says contributors. Hang on. Settings. We get that right. Add collaborator. Jim Scarver. And then Josh, you're already a god in the RChain community world, right?
I think so, but I'm actually not totally sure about that.
Okay.
It might just be some repositories.
Can you think of anybody else that should be a collaborator, Jim?
David or Valentine? or I don't know, Jeremy's here. Who's done work on this?
David, I guess.
All the commits have gone under.
Once we're in there, we can add people, right?
Yeah, you should be able to. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to try to refactor this code for object capability discipline in 10 minutes or something. Good idea.
Should we plan on continuing this at another time after we're done here?
But yeah, I probably won't finish, and that's okay. But I'll just. Okay, so this is the contributing rules for, or guidelines for the RChain API. So we try to do object capability discipline there. So in order to support robust composition and cooperation without vulnerability, the code in this project should adhere to object capability discipline. That means memory safety and encapsulation. JavaScript is already safe as far as memory safety. But then you have to make sure you don't use this.x and this.y, because then other people can scribble into your this.x and this.y. And then anything globally accessible is immutable data. So for example, in some languages, there's an open file name, which is globally accessible. And that's not immutable data because it allows you to access the file system and stuff. So we're going to get rid of any exceptions to these rules. All right. So here, that's global mutable state right there. So we don't want to do that. This thing will help me. All right. Now stop shouting at me about the require sys. Oh, okay. I've got this thing set to be picky about the semicolons. All right. Many of these requires probably are what we call powerful. They're not immutable data, so those will probably have to get changed. So exec. Right. This is exec is clearly not immutable data. So I think the first thing I'm going to do. How much of this stuff should I put? So now it's all in a great big, wait, .env.config. What does that do?
Dot environment means that it reads the .env.
And where does it put it?
Bash configuration. Where does it put it? It puts it somewhere. It's set to look for the.
Does it put it in process env?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if all you've got is global immutable data, you can't touch the network or anything. So how do we get around that? So we're going to check to see if this script was invoked from the command line. And if so, we're going to break our rules. So this section of the code right here is going to be the only place that we're going to allow ourselves access to powerful stuff. So it looks like .env is powerful. We're going to pass these things by name because that's handy. Okay, so this is so all the code that was at the top level is now in a main function, right? So when Node executes it, it's just going to define a main function. It's not going to execute any of that stuff, right, Jim?
Yeah, I get. So I'm a little confused. .env is global immutable data, right?
Yeah. Skip. Never mind .env. This line of code is not going to actually execute when Node gets this far, right? All it's going to do is define this main function, right?
Right.
Okay. So down, but when it gets all the way to the bottom, it's going to say, "Hey, did somebody run me from the top line? If so," and actually you want to do 3 equals. If so, then go ahead and call main. And main is going to get, now we can talk about .env, main is going to get what we call a power. All the powers have to be passed in. So there's .env. So now we can do the .env config. So this means that, like, if somebody else could import this server.js and they could pass in some other kind of .env thing that did what they liked it to do, and we could do something different, like for testing. All right. Now this is not global state. It's just local to this function. Looks like tail. What does tail do? Yep, that accesses the file system, so that's clearly powerful. Console log is cheating, but we're going to allow that. In other words, that's
tail does not just displays the log. It doesn't change anything.
It still accesses the file system. So it's still powerful. It's not just adding integers, right? If you call this function twice, you could get 2 different results. It's non-deterministic. It depends on the contents of the file.
Yep.
Okay. Any source of non-determinism is powerful. So this is all cool. gRPC is powerful. Where did that come from? Now at this point, my tool should tell me that it highlights gRPC. Access to the network is powerful.
So is Adam going to highlight that for us?
You can get Adam to highlight things that are undefined. The file system is clearly powerful. Exec is powerful.
What we're using in work study now is Adam with Telegram. So we can all
Teletype.
in the file. What is it?
Teletype.
Teletype. I don't know, yeah.
They also have the same, not the same program. They have something similar on Microsoft Code. The same feature. I forgot the name of it, but I still like Teletype better.
How is sys used? Sys is not used at all. What's going on? Does anybody know? Can I just delete that? Do you have any idea?
I think that has process. That has process.
No, process is just magic in Node.
Oh. My vague memory says it has something to do with exec, but
How is match recursive used? That one. Actually, let's see. I'll just comment these out. That's my 11 o'clock. Okay, so RChain API, we were careful to do only powerless things.
match recursive is to matching parentheses.
Okay, it's not used, right?
Used.
I'm searching for it. The matchre doesn't occur anywhere else in the file.
All right, I'm out. See you guys later.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. But I thought we needed that.
So, oh, dir. Why is that? Oh, that's somebody forgot their const.
Match recursive. Okay. I remember now, match recursive was used for parsing the output of eval exec from the command line. And we took it out? No, I think we replaced that using the tail function.
I'm not sure what's up with dir, but it was assigned without saying const or var in front of it. It's assigned more than once. So I just put let at the top so that it can be. That's not an object capability issue, though. We do have process. Environment. I like to put stuff from the standard library before other stuff. Right. So that was it.
Awesome. That was great, Dan. I think this is today was a treasure. Glad we got the recording.
All right, let's see. All right. I'll probably push that on a branch because it's not tested.
All right. You want to do that?
Say again?
You want to do that now? I mean,
no, I'm going to switch context. I'm going to go to my 11 o'clock now.
All right. Thanks you much.
I will give you the Git hash of it just so that you can be sure that I wasn't fibbing later. I'll give you a cryptographic commitment. All right. Bye for now.
Thanks, Dan.
Sure.
All right. Do you have anything, Jeremy?
No, I don't. At the time, I'm just woke up a couple hours ago. But other than that,
Well,
I
what
was
do
going
you
to
have?
say,
What do you
we
have?
need to,
What do you have energy for? The Xbox, the TBS shards.
no. So we already writing up the stuff for how we're going to try to see if we can help integrate RBox and Coin Faucet together. So it just really come down to like laying down the specs, what is plausible, what is needed, and just testing it. But that's something that, in terms of implementing it and writing it out, that's like down the road.
Yeah, I've been talking with Disrupt with Alberto about crowdfunding and crowdsourcing Xbox.
I mean, I think
Where
for that one of the biggest hurdles that I think we should start as a cooperative lay down is, can we get rid of the minimum amount, which is what did Greg say, $1,500?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can just get rid of that and just have a solid token amount, it doesn't matter about the minimum price, because if everyone buys the minimum amount of tokens, obviously the price will just keep increasing. So it doesn't make sense to just have a $1,500. Well, that can mean anything. It can be down the road where 2 tokens is $1,500. It doesn't make sense in terms of incentivization.
Well, hold on. We're not only going to do the Xbox, but we're going to pool.
Yeah.
So our pool for our shard and our validators of shards is going to be much greater than $1,500.
Yeah, that's again, like, I'd rather just have a solid token amount. So you can just say 10,000 tokens. So it helps out early adopters who wants to get it while it's like really cheap right now just to get in. And then makes it harder for everyone who wants to just kind of come on at the last minute.
I'm not sure I even know what you mean. I mean, obviously we have a pool. We have to distribute that to the members who are running the nodes.
True, we do. But then, and this, again, when it comes down to just like, I think we should have a Tampa-based shards community call and just like have almost like an items of business.
Yeah, I was telling that Alberto that we need to have a weekly meeting on this at least, and have.
I know we have our weekly happy hour downtown where we all kind of get together and discuss like small projects and stuff. Which, I mean, I don't see why we all can't do it.
Well, I can't really be down in Tampa too often. I gotta. Well, that's actually in St. Pete, right?
Yeah. Where are you, in St. Pete or Tampa?
I'm in Brooksville, man.
Oh man, that's a hike.
Yeah, I don't get down there too often.
Mm-hmm.
And we are decentralized. I mean, if a bunch of us can get together, great, but we should be able to include remote people.
True. Because I think it's more of a face-to-face, peer-to-peer, like, you know, engagement where it's funny, like how you can just gotta get more like discuss. But yeah, I'm totally down. We can just even hold a weekly stand-up call. We just need to put on the calendar and put everyone on that cadence.
And there should be a standard current state document for the channel.
Well, now that everyone's getting onboarded to Mattermost, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yep. So are you going to help with the offboarding from, you're going to handle the Xbox channel, or should I try to get?
Yeah, I am.
Do that?
It just, ever since like marketing got solidified, I've just been doing a lot of catch up for that. But yes, it's just, I need to coordinate with Chris Williams, who else? Patrick, in terms of how we want to set it up, because we still got to wait. Like, it all comes down to just like patience and waiting, because we got to wait to see what the next our nodes will require, next releases. Because last thing you want to do is just spend a lot of time and resources on something that could change, or that would totally change the specs for our box.
Right.
So that's pretty much where we're stuck at. But at the same time, though, we can keep writing out like some of the things that we're going to be doing. So like how we can make it, or at least like make the scripts in terms of installing it. Similar to what Dora, I think, written up, is the script to where we can just kind of run it and update it as it goes, so we don't have to keep doing the same thing.
Right.
But it also would be cool if we can make it like quick. I think Chris said when he was converting that over to Raspberry Pi, it takes like 8 hours. Or something like that.
Could be. I mean, he had to build the whole thing from source, I guess, is what he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you know, we do that. We just, you know, to some extent, the R kits, you know, people are on their own. But for the other ones, we're going to maintain that. So we have to compile it. It takes us 8 hours. And then it gets distributed to all of the Xbox.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that can all be done in, if you think about it, a day. So all it comes down to whoever's going to house all the units, run the script all at the same time. And by the time that, you know, he or she wakes up the next day, it's like, oh, cool, they're all done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you only have to do it for once for each configuration you got.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know, if nothing's updated, you don't have to recompile it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just need to set up the environment, and that's it. The updates, I mean, that obviously can be done in a simple script of, you know, removing all the old data directories and reinstalling it.
So, what else, Jeremy? Are you employed?
Well, technically for like one more week, and then there's still stuff I'm gonna do for RChain Europe and help them out with some stuff. Still gonna reach out to Jonathan for RChain Asia.
And we have some outside sponsored funds for working on the social ledger. So setting up your stuff in Mattermost will get you something.
Repeat that, I'm sorry.
We have some outside sponsored funds from the social ledger. They're just being active in the social ledger and Mattermost.
Right. I'm still trying to like understand socially. That's what's on my to-do list of like really understanding like the purpose, the premise, what issues it's solving, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I have the site up. I just need to like go through and read it.
Yeah. Well, you ask a dozen people, and they'll give you different answers. What excites most people about the social ledger is the holonic chart. Okay, basically, instead of we replace pinned items with activities in the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is general, and this has everything we need to know: the Zoom room, the log, workstations. Okay, you check off here if you're engaged in them, or you show your level of engagement from none to a bit, more, strong, intense, by choosing the smile here. And when we subscribe to something, like we work, play, and learn together, which is linked to the current state document, actually. Then we enter the holonic world of the new RChain. And we have who's engaged in what activity in the town square channel here, within the CoLab.
Oh, okay. That's starting to make sense now. Okay.
We have the social ledger going on. We see who's engaged there. We have the off-topic channel, and we can see who's engaged there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
that really helps as a good director of trying to figure out, all right, who's or actually I can just use it as a director. I was like, all right, what is obviously what you just said, Jim engaged in, and I can be able to see all of that and how much you okay, that's kind of cool.
This is a group memory that we collaboratively build. It works if people add the links that are important.
Mm-hmm.
And they participate in the process of building their teams and organizations, showing the activities they're engaged in, making visible. We have, I don't know why this all says town square here. I guess because we don't have enough stuff in it. But this is supposed to be RChain Cooperative, where we have the RChain US and the RChain Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know where the RChain Africa doesn't seem to be showing up here. We created it. But, I'll have to check that out. This is the RChain Croatia. They have about 40 members, and they're getting started in the social ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also define your teams in the social ledger. You know, we have any team here, /dig team. And then there's a whole portal thing on top of this where we organize all our services.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of create a interface around the tools we use. The CoLab, the Mattermost and the GitHub and the,
have you guys made a
blog?
Have you guys made a video?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Ledger.
If you look at the pinned items in the social ledger channel, you'll see some videos there.
Oh, sweet.
I hope the good ones are there. You look at the team here, you can see there's a guide and a scribe and an actor. And we can I can suggest that I'm an expert in the domain of this channel. So I'm going to select that. And this shows my connections in this new community we just set up 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. with David and Adi as participants in these activities. Now, if you look at the Dig Life social ledger, or RChain used to be part of DivvyDAO. If I go to a real channel here, Town Square, and I look at one of the activities here, I guess it doesn't matter which one I look at on the eyes here. Oh, I did the wrong thing. What I wanted to do was look at the team. Okay, and look at this network graph. And you can see we got a lot of people in here. Some of them you may recognize. Others are from other communities. Here I am down here. Now, you can see that I'm sort of connected to most everybody. And the thickness of the connection is the number of ways you're connected. And having all this data, there's lots of different ways we can visualize it. But the key thing about the social ledger is that it's the record of what we say and do. And it connects the tools we use into the processes we take in the context of an activity, within a circle, within a domain, within an organization. And then we're connected across teams and organizations.
Hey, Jim, real quick, I have to go. I'm getting some phone calls in.
Sure.
Is it cool that we can talk later?
Sure.
All right. Cool. Thank you for the.
Hope you get involved with the social ledger and.
I'm planning on it.
The Tampa Bay shard hasn't been started yet.
Yeah, we need to start creating that Google Calendar. So I'll probably send an email out to everyone and see if we can start doing like a once a week, maybe on like a Wednesday or Thursday call or something like that.
Yeah. Good. Yep, let's do it. Take care, guy.
All right, take care.